It's more fun in love it. It's more fun to learn.
A wonderful art adventure day, everyone! Welcome to our second episode for the third quarter in Art Grade 7. I am Ma'am Clarence Press, your teacher for today. In the previous lesson, we discovered the different traditional clothes, crafts, accessories, and body ornamentation from the different ethno-linguistic group of Mindanao. Today, let's continue exploring the arts and crafts of Mindanao, but this time, we will talk about its architecture, sculpture, and functional art. Are you guys ready to explore with me? Let's go! In this lesson, you will learn the different sculptures, architectures, and functional art of Mindanao and their characteristics. You will also analyze the crafts of Mindanao through the elements of art and principles of design. First, let's talk about architecture of Mindanao. Here are some of the famous architecture of Mindanao. First on the list, we have Torogan. The Torogan is the ancestral house of the upper-class Maranao. It is the dwelling place of the Dato along with his wives and children. There could not be any house larger than Torogan of the Dato within the Sultanate, for this signifies rank, prestige, and wealth. The National Museum has declared the Maranao Torogan, specifically the Kawayan Torogan, as one of the national cultural treasures through Declaration No. 4, 2008. The next architecture that we are going to discover is Panolong. The Panolong is a wing-like ornament of a Torogan, flaring out from the beams. This ochre carving usually features the naga or serpent, pakurabong or stylized fern, as well as floral and a star and a bud motifs. Next on the list that we are going to discover is the Grand Mosque of Cotabato, the largest mosque in the Philippines. The Sultan Haji Hassanal Bolkiah Masjid, or also known as the Grand Mosque, sitting near the idle banks of the Mantaka River, is founded by the Philippine government and the Sultan of Brunei, after whom the masjid was named. The mosque occupies 5,000 square meters of a 5-hectare land. And here is the 4 minarets stand at a towering 43 meters high, more or less 15-story building. The next architecture that we are going to discover is from Zamboanga, the fourth pillar. The historical fourth pillar, also called Real Fuerza de Nuestra Señora del Pilar de Zaragoza, was founded in 1635 and still stands strong until today. It was engineered by Father Melchor de Vera, a Jesuit priest. It was built to protect the people from pirates of the Sulu Sea. The last architecture that we are going to discover is from Camiguin, Santo Rosario Church. The church is located at the town of Sagay, Camiguin Island. The original church was built in 1882 using coral stones, but the old infrastructures were too weak. It was retrofitted with steel bars using modern building techniques. The unique things you can find in the church are the driftwood chandeliers and altar. They use local materials, particularly woven bamboo skin, which highlights the local traditions of the island. We are done with architecture. Next topic that we are going to talk about is the sculpture of Mindanao.
Here are some of the famous sculptures that can be found in Mindanao.
Maitum jar, an earthenware vessel for secondary burial from Sarangani province. These artifacts were first discovered in 1991 and are now in the protection of the National Museum. Some experts argue that these jars are not only artistically significant, they also hold key information of historical and anthropological importance. Next, Tivoli wood carving and brass casting and pottery. Wood carvers get their inspiration and the wildlife in their local area. Artisans use the lost wax casting method to produce more copies of the sculpture with intricate designs such as bells, boxes, and figures. The mold is made from wax, then using this mold, covers it with clay. Molten brass is then poured into the clay cast, which melts and replaces the wax to form the finished product. Next sculpture that we are going to explore is from the wood carving and metal casting of Maranao. The most well-known metal casting of Maranao is Rarub Aklum, a metallic armor made of brass plates, carabao horn, and interlocking winglets. It is a protective armor of Moro warriors as a counterpart to the vest used by the Spanish soldiers. Another handcrafted of Maranao is the Kampilan. Kampilan is a single-edged steel sword with a handle made of hand-curved ivory, in the form of the head of the naga or a serpent. Handcrafted gold, curved, and hang horsehair at the bottom of the handle. Next sculpture of Maranao is Batike. Batike is a large manually curved wooden top inlaid with mother of pearl. It is used by adult males to test their skills and strength. The last two sculptures of Maranao are Kendi and Gador. Kendi is an heirloom teapot or kettle used for hot water, coffee, or tea. Gador is a large, intricate, decorated white metal tobacco container. It has become an item of interior decoration in proper Maranao households.
The last topic for this episode that we are going to talk about is the functional art.
Functional art represents fine art which serves utilitarian purposes. It includes all the things we may see in our daily life, from lighting and furniture to small decorative elements. We can say that functional art has regards more to usefulness rather than the beauty or ornamentation. The balangay, also known as balangay or butuan boat, is a large wooden boat used by the pre-colonial Filipinos to traverse the seas for trade or migration. It was first mentioned in the 16th century in the Chronicles of Pigafetta, and is known as the oldest pre-Hispanic watercraft found in the Philippines. Archaeologists found parts of the balangay in Butuan City in 1976. These artifacts are dated from anywhere between 320 to 1250 CE. They are estimated to measure 15 meters long and 3 to 4 meters wide, propelled by sail of bori or nipa fiber or padding, and holds 60 to 90 people. It was used for cargo and raiding purposes, serving as evidence that Butuan played a central role in trade. The finely built boat, constructed without the use of blueprints, was taught from one generation to another. This technique is still used by boat makers of Cebutu Island. Vinta. This boat is traditionally made by the Badjaus who live in the Sulu archipelago. The sail, called vinta, consists of several colors and geometric shapes, representing the colorful culture and history of the Muslim people. These boats are small and not meant to be used for long ocean travel. They are used for livelihood activities such as fishing and diving, for pearls and transportation around the archipelago.
Here's the wrap up for the second episode for our lesson in Art Grade 7. We identified and described the different arts and crafts of Mindanao, particularly their architecture, sculpture, and functional art. Thank you for watching this episode. Stay tuned. By the way, I am Florence Press, your teacher for today.